In this video, I'm gonna be going over what I bought at the National Card Show, okay? I'm gonna explain to you what I bought, why I paid what I paid, how much money I think I'm gonna make on the exact card, how the deals went down, and everything. I'm gonna reveal every single thing, and it's pretty interesting because I brought $100,000 in cash to the National Card Show, so stay tuned. And before I go into it, I have a whole Google Doc explaining exactly everything. I want to explain to you my strategy going in and kind of what happened. So my strategy going in was when everyone zigs, I like to zag, right? If you guys have seen my videos, you know I like to buy things that are cheap, buy things that people aren't looking at. So what is cheap right now? Baseball, right? Everyone's buying basketball, everybody's buying football. So I wanted to go in and buy high-end Bowman Chrome prospects that are really cheap right now, hold it into December, January, February, and make a crap ton of money. Now, I did do a little bit of that, but as you can imagine, because baseball is so cheap right now, there wasn't a lot of it at the card show. And the ones that were at the card show, people were just asking way more than it was actually worth. Just to give you an example, like a Jackson Churio orange Bowman Chrome, I offered someone $18,000 in cash. One just auctioned for $20,000. Just auctioned a few days ago, and he wanted like $25,000. So that's kind of what I was dealing with. Now, I was able to find some really nice Bowman Chrome, just not as much as I would have liked. But on the flip side, I bought some basketball that was insanely cheap. Like, it was such good deals. I was like, no way, this is crazy. Okay, so that was my strategy. I kind of did it, I kind of didn't. I'll show you, but let's jump into my computer and I'll show you exactly what went down.
All right, let's get into it. What did I buy? So up number one is this card. I'll put it in screen real quick. So this is Bobby Witt, Bowman Chrome, blue autograph. This is the first card I bought at the National Card Show. It actually happened like within like 5 minutes. And so you could see I paid $1,500 for this card, and the sole reason I'm buying this card is because it's really cheap right now. Okay, I'm just holding it. It's already graded. I'm not doing anything with it. And these are the comps. So these comps are all within like the past like week or two. You can see a 9.5 did 1863, PSA 9 did 1175, 9.5 1400, 9.5 1743. So like I said, like I didn't really get a great deal on this card per se, but it's just really cheap right now. And Bobby Witt, as long as he doesn't do anything crazy and he just stays somewhat healthy, I'll do well on the card. And as you can see, what it was selling for in spring training, you could see a PSA 10 was $6,100 and a BGS 9.5 was about $3,000. So it's not going to get all the way up to that. I doubt it. But I think if I hold to December or January, I'll sell it for about $2,200 to $2,500 in that range. I have not seen a Bobby Witt blue Bowman Chrome this cheap. The last time was like when the product came out and he wasn't a big prospect. So that's the reason I bought it. That's number one. Number two, Evan Mobley National Treasures SGC 10. And let me pull up the picture for you just so I could show you guys. So it's this card right here, SGC 10 of Evan Mobley. And this is what I paid. So I paid $4,000 for it. And these are the comps. Now, if you don't know what comp means, it just means recent sales. So not some fancy word. Now, recently a PSA 9 did $2,500. And on April 30th, a 9.5 did $5,200. And a 9.5 did $6,000. Now, in April, they were in the playoffs, so his value was worth more. Especially his values went down since because he did not play well against the New York Knicks at all. Okay, so this 9.5 is probably about $4,000 today. Now, I bought an SGC 1010. So SGC is a different grading company. I usually don't deal with them that much. But an SGC 10 is worth more than a Beckett 9.5, but it's worth less than a PSA 10. Okay, so it's somewhere in between. So I think this card right now is worth about $5,500 to $6,000. I think I got a pretty good deal on it. I'm sure no one else was crazy enough to buy Evan Mobley, especially a high-end card, considering how bad he played, but that's when I like to go in and buy things. And I'm probably going to hold it until October. I'm sure he'll gain some traction. He's a young kid. I mean, what is he, like 20 years old? And I think I'll do well on it. So I think I might move it for like 8,000 to 9,000 if things go well. But I think I just got a good deal on it. That's why I bought it. I didn't go into the show looking for like Evan Mobley at all. So that's the Evan Mobley. Now, this Josh Giddey Gold Prism jersey number, okay? Now, I actually bought these cards together. So I paid this guy $9,500 for this Evan Mobley and for this Josh Giddey. So now you might see right here, I put jersey number. What does that mean? So this card is numbered out of 10, okay? So this is the back of the card. You can see it's a gold number to 10. And the serial number is 3 out of 10. So each card is serial numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. up to 10. Now, this is 3 out of 10. And if you look, Josh Giddey is number 3. Now, I don't know why people in sports cards just like this, but this card actually brings a premium. So since this card brings a premium, I know this when I'm buying it, and you can see I paid $5,500 for it, and there's one recent sale. There's one sale, because it's such a rare card, you're not going to find a bunch of sales. A PSA 8 did $5,000. Now, if a PSA 8 did $5,000, his jersey number, PSA 8, if it was a PSA 8, would do about 25% more. So call it like, 20 or 2,000 more. So like maybe the card's worth 7,000 to 7,500. And now, since this card's graded a PSA 9, it gets another bump, and it's probably like $8,000 to $9,000. And you can see right here, I actually bought this card raw. Okay, the person who had this card, it used to be a Beckett 9. He cracked it out. I looked at the card. There were some surface issues, but the card was well centered. It looked good enough to me, and I was just buying it to hopefully get a PSA 9, and I graded it at the show, and it cost me about $400 to get it graded. So I'll actually put that right here, $400 grading cost. So I think this card right now is like $8,000 to $9,000, and if I hold it, and he has a lot of hype, which he should, because the Thunder are going to be really good. I mean, who knows what it'll be worth? It's a rare card. I mean, I might only move it for $7,000. I wouldn't be surprised if someone paid me $13,000. Who knows? It's a really rare card. But that's why I bought it. And like I said, I bought this and this together. Okay, so moving on. So next is a 2020 Jordan Walker Blue Bowman Chrome Beckett 9.5 and PSA 10. So this is a picture of the Beckett 9.5, and this is a picture of the PSA 10. Now, I paid $1,400 for the 9.5, and for the PSA 10, I paid $2,500. So these were two completely separate comps. Now, this is what the card sells for right now. So a 9.5 just $1,900, so I got a pretty good deal on the 9.5. A PSA 9 did $1,000, and a PSA 10 did $2,500. So on the PSA 10, I basically paid what it was worth. On the 9.5, I paid, I got a pretty good deal. Now, what it was selling for before the season, right? Because we know, if you've listened to me, when the baseball season starts, it comes down. And Jordan Walker actually started as the starting shortstop, but then he was playing such bad defense. He was hitting well, but his defense was so bad. I think he had like 10 errors. He got called down. So his value went down, then he got called back up, so it went back up a little bit. And you could see before the season in March, a PSA 10 was $4,750, and in January, a Beckett 9.5 was $3,000. You can see a big difference from what I paid. Now, this kid is really good. Like, he's a really good player. His defense will get better. Maybe they'll move him to the outfield because he's so big. He's like 6'5". But I think, honestly, on these two cards, I'll roughly double my money if I hold it into December and January. So that's the plan, but we'll see what happens. Now, next is a 2019 gold Ja Morant, and let me pull this card up for you guys just so you can see what it looks like. So this is what the card looks like. As you can see right here, it's a gold optic Ja Morant, and this card was honestly a little bit of a tricky buy, so I was really hesitant on buying it, but I did. Now, this card is a PSA 10, sold for $15,000 in January. Now, if we know anything about Ja Morant, he did some pretty stupid things, posting those guns on Instagram, so his value is down, especially since he's suspended right now. So now there's no sales of this card since because it's so rare, but what I did is I looked at what silvers were selling from then until now, and a silver PSA 10 was $900 back then when this card sold, okay? And today, while I'm speaking, it's $525. So it's fallen a little bit less than half. Now the math, if you do the math, right, a PSA 10 should be about $8,000 today. It was $15,000 back then. The value's fallen in a little bit less than half, so roughly about $8,000, which means a 9.5 is about $5,000 to $5,500. It's a 9.5 is a little bit more than half a PSA 10 generally. Now, that's what I think the card is worth. Who knows, right? If this card could auction, it could do $8,000, it could do $4,000, right? But it's an extremely rare and coveted card. Any John Morant collector would definitely want this card. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone gave me $8,000, $9,000, or $10,000 in trade or cash for the card. I'm going to hold it going closer into the season. Now, how much it's going to go up, who knows, because he's suspended. But I just think I got a good deal on it. And these are the types of cards you want, right? If you're going to pay strong on a card, make it a card like this. So that's the John Morant Gold. Hopefully I'll do well on that. And Josh Jung Red out of 5 autograph. Now, this is the reason I came to the show, to buy cards like this. And I wish I bought more of them, but I didn't. They were hard to find, as you can imagine. But this is what the card looks like. It's of Josh Jung. Josh Jung's a young kid for the Texas Rangers, and it's his red Bowman Chrome. And for those of you guys who know anything about Bowman Chrome, it's very coveted, this red Bowman Chrome. It's like one of his best cards out there. Now, there's no comps to this card since it's so rare. However, an orange, okay, I'll put orange here because make it easier. An orange 9.5, $3,400. Now, a red is out of 5. An orange is numbered to 25. Okay, I'll even put that here. So orange out of 25. A red is about 2.5 to 3 times an orange. So I put the value of this card of about $9,000. However, my plan is to hold the card, okay? That's my plan. This kid's a stud, okay? He plays on a winning team. They're going to be good for a long time, and he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. Last time I checked, he's hitting like 275 with like 20 homers or something like that. He's really good, and he's probably going to have a lot of hype going to next season, and I'm going to hold it. Now, this card is similar in respect to this card in the sense, like, who really knows what it's worth? Like, this card, someone might offer me $14,000. I might only move it for $6,000. Like, you don't really know. But I do know I paid pretty well, and any Josh Jung collector will want this. Now, I heard a rumor that there's one person who has 3 out of the 5 reds. So maybe he'll come and offer me a lot of money. Who knows? We'll see. But that's why I paid what I did on this card. I have a vlog that I'll put after this video, and it goes over like my negotiating, and it's like real live, like me buying all these cards. And the person who I was negotiating with, I was really nickel and diming her. She wanted $8,500. I wanted $7,000. We were going back and forth for a few minutes, and eventually we settled. But that's what I paid on this card, and that's why I did it. Now, some other things that happened are some PWCC sales. So PWCC, just to show you what that is this website right here. It's a marketplace, kind of like eBay, but it's a little bit for higher-end cards. And what you can do is you can give them cards, okay? You can give them cards to auction, and they'll actually give you a 50% cash advance on the card, and they'll put the card in the auction, and they'll pay you about 90% of what the auction sells for. So these are some cards I gave to them, and they're taking back to the facility in Oregon to sell for me. So this is the first one. This is a Kevin Durant Exquisite PSA 10. I just bought this like a few months ago. I just got a good deal. I paid $16,000, and the person appraised it at $40,000. That could be a little bit strong. It could be like 30, but I got appraised at $40,000, and they gave me an $18,000 cash advance. So there's $18,000 sitting there for me in my PWCC account. I could take that money, buy some more cards, or just take it out and put it in my bank account, but we'll see. The next one was this Tua Tagovailoa. I paid $8,000 for this card a few months ago. They appraised it at about $15,000. They gave me a $7,000 cash advance. So stuff on PWCC sells for pretty strong. Like, it might sell for more. Like, I think this appraisal value could have been a little bit low, but that's just my opinion. At the end of the day, all this stuff is an opinion because these cards are pretty rare and they're high end. So, but I got a cash advance of $7,000. So, like, at the minimum, you know, I'll lose $1,000, but it's going to sell for more than that, obviously. And next, let me underline this so it's congruent. I paid $9,500 for this card of Cade Cunningham right here. Okay, I actually bought this card from Alt, and they said the card's worth about $15,000. I think this card could do a little bit more. Cade Cunningham's gaining a lot of steam and hype, and they gave me a cash advance of $8,000. So right now there's $8,000 plus $7,000 plus $18,000. So there's about $33,000 sitting there for me in my Alt account. And by their metrics, if this card sells for $15,000, this one sells for $15,000, and this one sells for $40,000, who knows if it'll sell for $40,000? We'll see. I'll make about $70,000 in sales, and I paid, about $33,000 for all these cards. So by their metrics, I'll make about a $37,000 profit on all these cards. I mean, I'll be happy with a $30,000 profit. But we'll see. These are rare cards. They can sell for more. They can sell for less. But these are the cards I bought and sold at the National Card Show. Hopefully, you enjoyed this little video.
So hopefully you enjoyed that recap of the National Card Show, and you can see it's kind of just like a cluster of like buying cards that are cheap, buying cards to possibly regrade, buying cards to hold. That's just how I approach card shows. It's not too common. You'll just find cards to just buy, grade, and sell. Like if it was that easy, everyone would do it. Like you're dealing with dealers who do this full time, so they know if a card is raw and it's in good condition, they're probably not going to sell it to you. Just how it goes, right? These are people that have paid thousands of dollars to set up. So you have to be a little bit creative, buy cards that are cheap, buy cards to regrade, and stuff like that. But hopefully you enjoyed. I enjoyed the National Card Show a lot. It was the best National Card Show in terms of like overall how big it was and how fast cards were moving. It was crazy. Like it was bigger than any card show I've ever seen. It was like double the size of the National Card Show from last year, which is saying a lot. There were probably 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 tables there. So pretty crazy. But if you enjoyed this video, I posted a vlog of exactly what happened in real time. You could see everything from A to Z. I'll post that somewhere around this video. If you enjoyed this stuff, like, comment, subscribe. I'm always trying to pump out as much valuable content to show you just real, authentic buying and selling sports cards and just the life of an entrepreneur and the life of someone that does this stuff. So like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.